stairs. Nia coming in, but will take the hit. Eruption on the generator as well. Eruption and Call of Ride. Nia does take a hit through the wall. So I don't know if better. Oh, and the dissolution value! These survivors. Deliverance from Claudette. Sprint bursting to the heart.
It's the same with these masks. In the one event, she didn't get a mask either.
No!
Like,
oh, the ground!
Yeah, oh, that was live. Look at this thing.
They're trying.
Pokey, nerf Nancy, man.
She's gonna get hacked, maybe.
Oh my goodness, she might just get hacked potentially. I think she does. Holy cow! I cannot believe.
They do get the spirit reset and they get the down.
Yes, they will get the survivors leaving the trial, and there's going to be the teleport. But the end, she's right here, but Nia needs to go.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Champions of the Fog for one final match of the day. And honestly, it feels like we've been kind of running a marathon a little bit together, haven't we? This has been a kind of a hectic set of matches, if we're being honest.
Just a little bit. It's been some intense matches, some really cool gameplay, some really cool moments from today. So excited about all of that, and we are going to be finishing things off strong with Luminescence versus Cynic, as we're going to be seeing Luminescence Mastermind against Cynic Survivor Team on the Dead Dog Saloon. And we saw some really top-notch Mastermind gameplay earlier today, so I'm excited to see some more here.
Absolutely, yeah. That first Mastermind game of the day was really, really sweet. Honestly, all the Dead Dog games have been pretty great today. I have been thoroughly enjoying them for the counterplay, the killer play, everything in between. But with that said, I do believe our score screen is still showing the previous match. So
I do believe you are right, but as we do fix that, we are seeing Wesker now in chase with Survivor over in Maine. And looks like it is with the Ace. We'll actually go around to the back of main building right now. Wesker debating whether or not they're actually going to be going for the chase here, as they're going to do some home remodeling, breaking all of those breakable walls. Though after doing that, it looks like they are going to drop chase, instead now going for a Mia who's up on Gallows. And I'm going to imagine bounce lane, but that Nia is going to be as patient can be, as they are absolutely out of dodge there. But Wesker catching up pretty quickly here with their bound, and Nia will make their way over to another house.
But I say that was really close, but I understand why they didn't go for that bound, because that so little fact, that hitbox on that what do you want to call it, trolley trailer that goes up to the gallows is notoriously deceiving hitbox. It's actually a really, really large hitbox that is kind of insane. So I understand not trying to go for it.
Out of all people, I imagine you would know, given that you are a Trickster main, so all those tiny projectiles getting hit and blocked by those hitboxes. But looks like they do have a chance pretty well complete, though. Wesker getting hit on the Quinton. And I will note that no generators have been completed just yet.
That's a good point. Really good pressure coming in from the killer here, like spreading things out. I'm really curious if we're going to see something reminiscent of what we saw a couple months ago, which was when Mastermind used his power strictly to try and attrition survivors, where at the end of the game there was no inoculations left and they were just kind of stuck there.
Yeah, it's not a wrong possibility, honestly. I mean, if you use their power enough, you know, you can definitely shoot through those inoculations rather quickly. But with that being said, that there will be the first down, this time on the Quinton. And looks like they're going to be going for a bit of a central hook here, though. Actually, going for this one instead. We'll have to wait and see if that is a Scourge Hook Pain Residence.
Indeed, and sorry folks, I was given the score sheet just now, so I'm going to get that set up. It is, in fact, Luminescence versus Cynic, not Elysium versus the previous set.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with us real quick as we went right from last match to this one.
There we go.
So everything should be ready to go now, as you will see the correct scores in real time. That being said, we do see that unhook there on Ultra. However, looks like Mastermind will be going for the tunnel out here. And, I mean, they're infected, which means that they're going to get slowed down and hindered here very shortly.
True, or down.
They will hurt, as they will get a hit at the
Performance
vault.
indeed.
And without a decisive strike, that there will be second hook here for the Quinta.
Yeah, first gen coming in as well. Barely, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of in the Killer's favor, unless we see another gen or two pop off here really short after. Killer had a lot of split pressure and managed to give the survivors, you know, kind of guessing, a little bit of juggling going on. Maybe try to get rid of the power, you know, the infection of their Ouroboros. And, well, okay, Gallows gen actually does have quite a bit of progress. There's the second gen, so they do have 2.5 gens done. Okay, so it is a bit more tit for tat.
Yeah, I mean, Saloon is just such a safe place
True.
to do gens unless you're playing against, you know, by a Huntress, Nurse, anyone who can really counter that verticality. Otherwise, you know, they are just in a bit of a pickle. But looks like they're against the Ace once again. We did see what I believe to be bounce lane from them earlier, but Ace vaulting a little bit prematurely, and looks like the Mastermind kind of content with just going to be sitting up here looking down at the hook, but seeing a Survivor coming on in, they want this Quinton out of the game.
They do. They were waiting for a Survivor to commit to the hook, and they did see Clutta coming in and getting chased away here. Yeah, they're going to need 2 Survivors to come off, and they don't have a lot of time left. However, here it comes the... Oh, they just committed to it. And they actually got the mind game there. Here comes the body blocks from the Nia. Are we going to see a 4 the people potentially, maybe from Claudette, or... No, they're just all going to take hits here. They're trying to get a set. I think Claudette has 40 people, but it's not going to matter. Everybody now hit with Sloppy Butcher, and now Quentin, no body blocks left to give unless you want to sacrifice. Oh, I'm not going to lie. I think the Unicorn Medallion might have cost that hit. The additional lunge distance on the first one cost it, but in the end, Quentin does go down, and this will be Death Hook. Really good job.
Yeah, that is
So
a
close.
rough spot for these Survivors to be at, though they do have what is equivalent of 3 gens completed right now. You know, this one here is going to be really hard for the Survivors to get out of. You know, 3 Survivors injured. The gen was regressing during that entire time.
No way.
So I don't know, it would be really interesting to say the least, as the Mastermind now looking around, seeing what gens they're on, or where they are healing up, as we do see the Claudette get healed off in the distance.
Yeah, Survivors are going to take some time to reset here, since they were all trying to take hits for the Survivor, but ended up not being enough time to get them. And they do have 2 heals, so they are finishing up a reset. The problem is that they have 3 gens left. If they had 2 gens left right now, we'd be in a good position potentially. But 3 gens left is actually going to be really difficult, I feel like. Yeah, nothing has over 50%.
I would tend to agree, but these guys definitely have spread pressure across multiple gens, so it really comes down to, you know, how far along these gens are, and we're kind of getting a good picture. We see that really cheeky vault the last moment there from the Wesker, and we'll get a break here on the pallet, reducing resources. It looks like a lot of pre-drops here.
Oh, yeah.
By the Claudette, just trying to gain as much distance as possible, but Wesker is lining up for their power. They aren't going to go for a cheeky flick there. Instead, Claudette will get enough distance to get to the window, but not about taking a hit.
Oh, that was going to be so close. I knew they were going to get the boss ball, but able to get the swing through it is pretty big. Leaving them now, since the Sloppy Butcher is any kind of reset's going to take a long time. Nia just kind of slow walk into the top of the gallows here. And do they have balance line, or is it Ace?
I want to say it may have been Ace, but the Nia seems very confident on that drop down, so maybe it is in fact the Nia.
Ooh, good attempt there, and there's the drop on the pallet. Another resource being broken. Unless the Survivors have some really good chases here, I think the game's going to slowly fall out of their favor as these resources go away, and the gens aren't seeming to go along with them. There's the reset on the Claudette.
So that would suggest that at least 2 Survivors, now 3, were off of gens during that point in time. So, you know, this match definitely getting drawn out bit by bit, but another gen off there. And now things are starting to look a little bit more in the Survivors' favor.
True. Very, very good point. And that I feel like they definitely need that gen. So now Wesker here is kind of forced into a situation where they have to commit to a chase. They can no longer split pressure and keep it going, because now the gens are kind of being in a spot where you just can't protect them like you wanted to. So Survivors did what they needed to do, and now we'll have to see if Wesker can answer. There's the hit. They are now infected. And I think they just make the main building their savior. Well, windows are available. That's a hit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not so sure about that.
That was
It can
close.
be quite tricky to get that fastball, and even then, the Wesker had a lot of distance on that Claudette.
They really did. Wait, 4th gen? Okay.
Yeah, Gallows is pretty well
okay.
progressed by the Nia. We didn't see any regression hit it. We are going to see Wesker bring him back to this hook. They have liked this a lot due to the verticality, being able to see the gens and the hook. We do see Scourge Hook in Residence hitting the Saloon as well. However, Wesker is sensing that a survivor might be nearby, just taking a quick peek in Shack, but not finding anyone to chase.
This is something of a pseudo 3-gen in the back here. Just Gallows, again, this killer not quite able to work with the verticality that the other previous killers have, but if you just kind of stand up here and watch from above, they got the unhook and the killer doesn't even care. They're like, nah, we want to start using the other survivors, get our fresh hooks, get our pain res going. Honestly, I think this is the correct play.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but depends on how well these survivors can play main building. And so far, it looks like the Wesker is going to have to drop chase against the Nia. Maybe trying to do some cheeky mind games here, but Nia seems to have disappeared and actually is now chasing the Wesker.
It might have been the... Yeah, you're right. Nia coming in from the back there. However, I think they had lied, potentially, and they haven't got that back, so Wesker might be able to commit to this chase a bit better. They saw the 2 survivors getting the heal, and they went to this generator. They got the vault there. I'm curious. I don't know who has the light or who has the bounce landing. It might be... No, that's not Ace. Ace would have gotten more distance for light, so... There's the inoculation from the Claudette. Ace taking a dropper. I think this is the bounce... Yeah, Ace is the bounce landing survivor.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it. Wesker trying to go for that there at the window, unable to make it happen. Ace will go to Water Wheel, which still has the pallet up, and Wesker will take the stun as Ace will try and jump away towards the corner with no chance. And yeah, there's no shot you can continue that chase. You have to break chase at this point in time and guard the Saloon gen. But it has some pretty good progression on it earlier and is only continuing to be progressed now by the Nia, who I think is only going to continue harassing this gen.
I would tend to agree, and they actually did kind of get the drop here. It depends on if Nia's able to get the vault. There's the vault, but they get the hit anyway. Really good play from both sides there, and now Nia's going to go need to reset. They can kick this gen, get it regressing, but now you've also haven't seen the Claudette for a while. Claudette could be on, instead of that one gen that's in the middle there, could be on that far corner gen instead. That gen doesn't have a lot of progress. It could be this corner one. No, it's not. It is the one inside that building, but the survivor is over here. They find the Claudette. This could be an infection here. They do get the infection. There's the hit. This is going to be really close.
Yeah, so I see survivors up there on the Saloon gen, so if there's an adrenaline in play, we're going to be seeing something spicy here in just a moment. Wesker realizing that to break and chase the Claudette. They do also get a quick peek of the Nia, as we do see the markers showing that they are in chase. Looks like Nia going down into the bottom of Saloon will get the vault, and looks like Wesker forcing a double back a little bit there, getting some distance, but a pallet out front still up and ready.
Also worth noting, okay, I was wrong. Claudette has the light. This Nia has quick and quiet and probably head on then. I thought the Nia had light in the hit, but it was just the hit distance that they got. We just saw the Claudette use light, unless they doubled up on light, which I don't think is possible. And that's first hook for that survivor as well on the pain res, which wasn't on the Saloon, so this gen in the center here was the one that got the hit. I can't tell who's going to win at this point. Both sides have a good advantage.
It is very much back and forth. We do see scratch marks heading towards the unhook, but looks like they went upstairs. They were not able to get the unhook in time, so it's instead dropping down, and that there is the ace.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of distance over towards the water wheel. We do see that flashbang.
Wait, they finish it?
And the gen completed by the Claudette.
No way, they actually managed to beat the gen. I didn't see anybody up there. That's absolutely incredible. And there's the unhook as well, because they don't have the access. Oh, this is insane. How many outs can they get here? Can they even get the outs?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. There's the BT hit on the Nia, and we have no idea where the ace went after that miss over the pallet. Does not look like they're back here on this exit gate, though. I think that may have been the ace that we just saw. Yeah, that was Ace running for their life here. His balance landing has not come back up for them, and they're not in a good spot. However, they're not going to get the flick, though, and there's going to result in just, you know, a harmless toss. There's the no way out, though, proccing 3 stacks left. This killer could pull something out, maybe get a 3K, but I don't see them getting more than that. I think it's going to be a 2-man out. Yeah, it's going to be really, really close here, and Wesker just wanting to go for this ace right now. Mind you, at this point in time, ace has not been hooked, so this is the best case scenario. That is a potential 6 points in favor of the Wesker.
That's a really good point. You can get an 8-stage 2K here, but I don't think the Wesker's content. The survivors have healed. Exit gates haven't been started yet. There's a, I don't know, that's really tough. I could see the Wesker being content with this, but I could also see if the Wesker could try and find somebody. There are scratch marks over here, trying to see if anybody's going to run back towards the other unhook. You got your fresh hook on him. I guess you could try and take the... Was that a flashbang? Because that's the second fire.
That was a firecrack right there. They did have flashbang earlier, but the biggest thing that I will point out there, which I didn't get to in time, was the fact that he was fully infected. So that is a insta down. And now the unhook actually pretty far away from these exit gates with no progress on them.
I didn't even notice that.
In a prime position.
That is such a good... I didn't even see that they were fully infected before that hit. That's incredible for this killer. Oh, getting hit at the corner though. Ace nowhere to be seen. Lion getting a lot of distance. Just go back to the unhook. You're right. This killer is in a very good position. I think Ace is on that exit gate instead. You've got your power. You can bound over.
I think that would make the most sense here. And yeah, sure enough, there's the red light. No sign of Ace. They knew that Wesker was going to be approaching, jumped off early, and I imagine we'll see an unhook here from the Claudette.
That we will. Ace is fully slowed down here. Claudette is the only one that's not injured, or the slow walk. Nia willing to take that BT hit as they are now Deathhook. They are the least valuable as far as perfect 10-second timer there in the killer's head. Going back to this exit gate, they want more points. If they can make this a 9-stage 2K, that'd be huge. They get the ace before they finish the exit gate, and with the power in hand, this might connect. It does! Oh my word!
Amazing play there. We do want to point out though, Claudia with the 4 people with the Nia off the ground, but honestly, probably still in favor of the Wesker here, as Ace was worth 2 points there on that hook.
And Claudette's at the
exit gate. This exit gate is not progressed at all.
Can they make this a 10-stage 2K? There's the unhook. Claudette going down at the window. Now you can just leave them slugged. Are we looking at a 4K?
It is not outside the realm possible.
At 3K maybe.
Noise notifications. I mean, that's the Ace doing something. What? I don't know, but trying to get the Wesker's attention, it would seem.
And they did get the Wesker's attention, but not the way they wanted to now. I guess you wanted... Because Nia is... No, Claudette's... they're both Death Hook. Claudette's the one that you want to try and get out at this point, but...
Yes, Claudette would be the one that would be worth the most points right now at 2 points for their next hook. So Claudette needs to get hooked in order for Luminescence to get the most out of this situation. But Wesker being very patient for the down on the ace. Ace though getting that bounce landing, but getting grabbed by the Wesker. And looks like these guys are going to try to make a mad dash to the X gate, but I'm not sure if they're able to get there in time.
That's not the exit they're going to. I think they're going back to the one behind the walls over here on the side. That's what Wesker's thinking, heading back over there immediately. But they do get the exit gate open. They do get the Clyde up fresh, but that's going to be a 9-stage 2K regardless. This might be one of the most crazy end games I have ever seen in COTF. That was wild.
Yeah, that was pretty insane to say the least. But that being said, really well played on both sides, and it looks like No Way Out, Scourgechuck, Pain Resistance, Sloppy Butcher, and Corrupt intervention there for the Wesker. Some really good usage of Sloppy Butcher, honestly, with spreading the prank, spreading the pressure the way they did.
I mean, you're right too. They did spread the pain out quite a bit there, but regardless, really, really well done to both sides. That was a lot. That like you were talking about, like we were talking about several settings, and all of a sudden like, oh, this survivor's fully infected, they go down. Like, oh, but they get this crazy grab, but there's the 4 other people in this like. There was a lot going on in that match, and I needed time to process. All right, everybody, welcome back to trial number 2. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still kind of recovering from that mastermind game. There was so
it was an intense end game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think everyone's seen it just at the end before we cut back over to the match. But speaking of intense gameplay, we're going to be seeing an Oni, and ooh, the last 2 Onis we saw were rough for the killer. So we're going to see if Cynic can kind of break that trend for Season 7, as they'll be playing the Oni against Luminescence Survivor Team once again on the Dead Dog Saloon. And they're going to pretty much need to get a 4K. Luminescence got 20 points last match.
That was a really solid score.
Yeah, nothing short of a 4K pretty much will claim them victory here in trial number 2, set number 1.
Indeed. Also, like, again, it goes back to, like, Gas Heaven. I'm wondering if Gas Heaven is just, like, rough for killers now. Like, I think that might just be the case, but regardless. Also, I'm not gonna lie. I think Dead Dog is kind of rough for Oni, in my opinion. Even if you've got your power, you run back here, and it's the same thing with Trickster. You just can't get hits back here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, and Saloon just is not a strong place for you to chase. You pretty much have to drop chase whenever they start looping Saloon. So, like, there's a lot of places that are rough for Oni, so this is definitely an interesting choice as far as killers are concerned, but who knows, maybe Cynic knows something that we don't, or just feels very confident in their killer abilities. And with that being said, we are going to be seeing the first chase here, but not the first hit. Claudette just hold and W for dear life. We do see that firecracker. Oni will dodge the blind, but Claudette going to be able to get to the Paladin. Oni just not able to get the hit, even with Bloodlust 2 coming in.
Good Bloodlust 2, yeah. This will be the hit here. Also, we just saw them... Oh, cheeky corner attack. That almost worked, but we saw them walk on top of the hay bales again next to this railing. I saw that in a couple games ago in a previous match. Is that a new thing you can do? I didn't know that was possible.
No, that's been a thing for a long time.
No
shot. One of
shot.
my favorite things to do, but these bars not going down to battle fight as we do see the first gen popping off. That
wow.
2, if not 3-man gen, and Claudette just holds a W. Will end up going down here though, so that there will be the first down, and I imagine the first hook incoming here in just a few moments.
Indeed. Really quick, Jen. I mean, the chase didn't go well at first, but they only did bring it back here, and they do have their power with the blood orbs hanging around here. There's a survivor over here. Wonder what Nia was hanging over here for. I'm very curious what they were doing, but regardless, they're going to stay their distance, and the power is up, and if the Nia's not gone, they need to be gone right now. Nia, what are you doing?
Yeah, Nia being very daring to say the least, and Oni
That's a
bringing
hit.
out their power. We do see the Nia vaulting there, and looks like Oni will in fact have a bamboozle activate, as we did hear that in the background.
And uh-oh, this is not good. The borrow time does not activate though, and honestly, they're just gonna take the hook. They're happy for this. Worth noting is, I think that was a pain res hook, so yeah, just getting a second shot of pain res is not a bad thing here, and you're getting fresh hooks. You're getting your points, and okay, what's the scenario? You can get a 10 stage 2K, right? And that would still be a W here.
10 stage would get it, because that would be 22 points. In fact, you could probably get a, was it? Yeah, I guess it would be close. I think 22 points would tie it. So it'd be really close. So I think you have to get 11 stage. So only really just one person getting out the exit gates in order to claim victory here in set number 1. But only back with power again, seeing a Nancy right in front of them. And looks like Oni will be trying to get them down here at the LT wall.
Yeah, oh, they actually went around this building instead. However, they are caught out of nowhere, and they do go down. This is interesting because usually we see tunnel outs occurring, but I guess if you're getting pain res after pain res after pain res, and you've got your power in good, measure, why not spread out the points? This is second hook for the Nancy. They do finish the second gen. This is actually really close. I don't know. I was thinking it might be in the killer's favor here for a little bit, but that second gen popping short after, making me and that gen over in the distance right next to Water Tower also very close to popping as well. Probably like 70-80%. There is a heal over here though. Oni has his power. They find the Claudette. This is the other survivor that's been hooked, right?
Yeah, it has. It looks like Oni, knowing just that, actually going to be going back for the unhook on the Nancy. Wanted to see a fresh survivor instead. Going to go around back.
Oh, but they healed.
There's the Nancy. There's the down.
They didn't get the call out. That had to be a missed call out because Nancy was finished healing instead of running. They should have been running. Oh no,
and
now Nia's in trouble too.
Well.
If they get this down, this could be lights out for the survivors. This is a huge snowball potential.
Yeah, but Oni kind of getting tripped up here and
these
just
quarter attacks.
unable to get the down on this survivor. Nia just playing this 2-18, but Oni whips the last bit of rush. Will get the down.
Oh my goodness, they actually get that. Yeah, they're gonna go straight back for this this Nancy too. I don't think a survivor was able to come back here and get the pickup, so that is a survivor out of the game at 3 gens remaining, and potentially if they don't get the pickup on the Nia, that is also another Scourge hook coming in as well. They have to be gemming here.
Really,
if 2 gens don't pop right now, this is really bad. They need 2 gens to pop right now.
But yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening, and we don't see anyone coming in for pickup on the Nia. I think unless there's a Ford of people, there just was going to be no way out. And as we said, no unbreakable either here. So this is going to be a Scourge Hook, I believe, as we do see the 3rd gen pop it off. But for what it's worth, Oni in a prime position to get the 4K, I think.
Very good spot, and that gen is not nearly as progressed as it once was. This is going to be very, very difficult for the survivors now. I was not expecting the... I knew the Nancy was going down because they got the missed call out or something happened that wasn't communicated. But Nia going down, that is really, really tough. And they do find a survivor up here. Is it going to be a head-on gamer? I don't know.
Looks like they continued past into the main building. Looks like that is the ace, but this is not the place where you want to be chasing these survivors as of right now, even with Bamboozle. And looks like Oni actually wanting to explore and see what gen progress there is, but not a lot as of right now. Oni in a really strong position, even with the ace harassing this hook here, but it's only going to be a few more seconds until the Nia does progress to 2nd stage.
Indeed. I don't know where this Claudette is. She might be back on the quarter jet in the dead zone, potentially. I'm really not sure. There's the 2nd stage, like you called out. Ace is the only one I think at this point that has not been hooked, so they're hanging out by this hook, but not going for it just yet. I think they're worried about a hook trade at this point not being good for them. This is going to be really tough.
Yeah, I think you're right. The fact of the matter is this is 2 survivors off of gens. A 3rd if the Claudette does come in for the unhook, and with the chase on the ace right now, I think the Claudette will be forced to drop their gen no matter its progress.
True.
And this unhook has only 30 seconds left. Ooh,
really?
They did complete it in time. The question is how far away, but I think they can reach the unhook in time.
They can, especially, yeah, they are going to commit to this ace. I actually really like this play from the Oni going after the ace because you want this fresh hook, or at the very least your power. Claudette's not death hook. I think they just go for the tunnel here. No, they want to go for the Claudette instead. There's only 1 gen left. This is actually kind of any man's game. I thought this would be a lot closer.
This is pretty much up in the air. Claudette going down the really smooth slide there from the Oni, but not satisfied with just that. Will continue the chase, and looks like they're going to be going up into main building, wanting to potentially protect this gen. And doesn't have a lot of progress. We do hear the vault down from the Nia, but this wall is not open up just yet, so they're going to go for the Bamboozle instead.
They have the power.
Looks like Nia just going to be hoping to make enough distance here.
About to say, the mind game's coming in. They do get the stun, though. That's huge. Where are they going to go from here, though? They need to waste more time. Claudette's still on the ground. Going back up in here, but it's Bamboozle. They're going to have to run around the side. They will get the drop down, though. They don't. Oni doesn't have the distance here. There's the drop down, going back around. There's the swing, get some distance. However, the power's still up. Bamboozle is gone now. They get the fast vault. This Nia is doing the Lord's work right now, but they will probably be going down here momentarily. There's the pickup on the Claudette. Yeah, they will be going down.
I think Bamboozle's still up too, so yeah, they'll be going down here at the top of main, unless there's a head-on play, which does not seem to be the case. That there will be another hook for the Oni, but these survivors were able to get the pickup, and it looks like they did not go for the reset, so I imagine they're just doubling up on a gen as we speak.
Probably the corner gen, if I had to guess. It's the furthest away from everything. It's kind of close to where Claudette went down anyway. They do finish it. They need to get Ace out. Ace needs to be able to leave this trial. If Claudette's the only one able to leave, I don't think that's enough points. That's going to be a... Oh, and look at all this blood.
It will be close if Claudette gets out, because Claudette has only been hooked once so far. No sign of Ace. They're going to go for the slug out on the Claudette, and I think they're just going to patrol the gens thereafter, hoping to find the Ace, but
there's no way out.
Instead, oh no.
This is a 4K.
That tells the Oni exactly where the Ace is.
This has to be a 4K, right? The exit gates, Oni has their power. They can't go for the, like, okay, I guess there's a possibility of an exit gate attempt, but Ace is injured. How do you get out?
Oni also has to contend with the fact that Ace could go for the hatch.
That's going to be in a little bit of time. Well, No Way Out will expire before... Oh, but they found the Ace! They actually were able to track him down.
There's the death from the Claudette. They're going for the hatch, I think.
It looks like they are. But Oni's going to be able to stop them. There's the down. And it looks like they will be able to secure the 4K in the end. Absolutely down to the wire there.
Yeah,
if they
really
miss that.
intense gameplay to say the least.
Oh man, and we see the final pain res scourge goes flying there, and no deli from the survivor, as I do believe deli's not allowed against Oni, and that was a very close game. That was very, very close.
Yeah, it was a constant back and forth to say the least, but with that being said, that will be Cynic walking away victorious in set number 1. But do not worry, as we are going to be moving to set number 2 now, this time on the Gas Heaven, and Rue, we got some spicy Blight gameplay coming up right now.
Oh, we got Blight gameplay coming up? I'm in. I'm just looking at this like there's 2 perks missing. I don't know. Probably perk bug. I'm happy that we're seeing, like, so we saw, like, you know, Night. We got to see Cenobite, which is amazing. We got to see Mastermind. Now we got to see S tiers like Blight. This is such a good first day of Season 7. All right, everybody, welcome back to set number 2. And someone told me that there's a Blight on the horizon.
There is indeed. We are going to be off to the races as we are going to be seeing Cynic's Blight versus Luminescence Survivor Team. And this is, in fact, a mirror match. So Luminescence is responding with a Blight of their own in trial number 4. So
wait, they're not saving it for Gas Heaven,
Battle of
though.
the Blights.
They're not saving it for Gas Heaven in the 3rd trial, which is interesting because Blight is notoriously picked for Gas Heaven. But now we're going to be Wretched Shop, right? Oh, it is Gas. Okay, I thought it was Wretched Shop.
Yeah, this is Gas Heaven. Trial 3, if we get there, it's a Ghostface mirror match on Treatment Theater.
Bite your tongue. Now I want it. Now I want that 3rd set. All right.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be exciting one way or another. That being said, Blight off to the races right off the bat. Double Blighted add-ons, and we're going to see if they can find a survivor classification, and they ace found out of nowhere.
Really good job. The survivors were in the middle of spreading out, and this Blight just comes in like a wrecking ball, ready to go. Do they get the ace did go for the vault. They might be able to get the first hit here. Bouncing around. That is the 3rd time. What is going on? What is going on,
just
Gil?
Reverse pallet stun out of reverse pallet stun again and again and again. But it's kind of caught out in the middle of nowhere, so they are going to get the first hit here as they bolt into Shack. The question is, can the Blight capitalize off this? They do
good free drop.
Pallet, and that's only a 2 bounce. So Blight will have their power here pretty quickly for the potential down.
That they will. Yeah, there is the first down coming in. Also, something that we will be able to call out early because the survivors should be made well aware of it after the course of the game. This build is not something that I would typically see, and I am very excited to see how this works out.
I am very curious. No skill check miss. That is 10% off the gen. And looks like the Blight trying to get a hit here. See if they can hug the tile. Unable to do so, as they are going to see a brutal strength hit there on that generator.
And pop.
And with the charges back up, they're going to be off the races. And will be going for the tunnel out.
That makes most sense. They do get the BT hit, though, so Ace going to get a little bit of distance here. Ah, yes, that is
Rancor?
That's what I like to see. That is, in fact, Rancor. Beautiful hug tech there to get the down on the Ace. If there's no decisive strike, this survivor is not long for this world, but yes, there is a decisive strike. And they got the vault.
This changes things up.
Is that a line?
Because before it was on the Claudette, but now if it's being on the Ace, the Blight does not want to go for the chase here.
However, yeah, 2nd gen going down. That is, in fact, Rancor. And the survivors are very well aware because that Claudette does, in fact, see the killer's arm, and it must be like thinking, oh no, wait, no. Now it's the Ace.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The obsession changed to the Ace, so now Rancor only gets 1 stage on the Mori end. As if Ace survives, or before it's on the Claudette, like the Blight could have just avoided the Claudette the entire game. Last gen off, and you get a Rancor Mori. But now it's on the Ace.
And knowing it now, they're not going to use any for the people play because they don't want to switch the obsession either. To be fair, Rancor still does serve the alternative purpose of giving the killer knowledge when a gen pops where everybody is. Like that, you know, it's like a pseudo bitter murmur, if you will. So
that is true. That is true. So that is a valid point. Like you're trying to get a hit here on.
She left that long ago.
Quite awkward. I can't make it happen, but looks like no one is approaching the unhook for the Ace.
It makes the most sense, I would say, since Claudette wasn't able to sneak in and get the unhook. I think you just let Ace progress to that stage. You do not have deadlock, so the survivors are going to be able to pop another gen, possibly even 2 more generators here. The first chase with the tunnel out on Ace, yeah, didn't take over long, but yeah, there's that value of the Rancor knowing where the stars are, and they will not be finishing a 4th generator soon, like I thought they would. So that might actually be kind of rough for them in the end. I thought they were going to be popping 2 gens here.
Yeah, the fact that it's only 1 gen could really change things other big, especially as the Blight is now going to be spreading pressure, hitting 2 survivors here, and looks like they are going to commit to the Nancy, who does have a lucky break, as we do not see scratch marks or blood.
It's a very good point. Oh, they get the... Oh my word, that was beautifully executed. And the gen over there has the most progression. They're going to be able to hook next to it, get the Pop Goes the Weasel off on it. Things are seeming to swing back into the Blight's favor there. As I was worried about that gen a little bit, but with that chase going so well for the Blight, I think we might be looking at 4K. Yeah, look at how close this gen was.
Yeah, and if Pop Goes the Weasel, that's going to be a huge amount of progression. Like, that's exactly what you want to see with a Pop in hand. And looks like Blight going to be venturing over to the other side of the map. And with the Blighted add-on, just is going to make this a very short trip, as we do see Jake vault into Shaq.
Yeah, really good read there from the Jake. Not getting mind game as the Blight slid along the side there, and they are going to get zoned. Possible balance landing coming in here. Yeah, that is in fact balance landing, getting a little bit more distance there. Blight going to try and run in there and move. Oh, another hug tech coming in. If this results in a hit, that's going to be impressive. They do get the hit. Oh my word, that was beautifully executed from the Blight. However, that's 5 tokens that need to recharge there, and they're going to be heading into the side of the map. I imagine where... Oh no. That might be one of the best plans mine.
World for the killer, you know. The Blight's like, I need to recharge my tokens anyways. I might as well just kick this gen real quick and then just get the blast mine to face.
And Jake's not here. We saw scratch marks going off into the distance. Jake's like, that might have been one of the most costly blast mines I have ever seen played around with, and that gen in the distance that Nancy was on, I think is gonna pop here any moment now. Between the Jake doing a really good first chase and the blast mine, they might be able to pull this back into their favor just a little bit. Another great job from the Jake there, holding W, getting some distance. And now playing around this tile. This is not a safe pallet, but Jake is making it seem that way. My goodness, the mind games on this. Blight's leaving it. He says he can't. He's had enough. He's heading back to the gen that Jake left. We see someone else working on this generator. There's the firecracker. They get the blind! No shot! No shot!
The Blight just not having the best of luck, whether it be with the firecrackers or the blast mine, but their retinas are getting very near today. As Nancy now is with Blight getting pushed off that generator, but another gen pops off. That was not the gen that they're working on. It's possible that the Claudette and Jake do jump on that gen that Nancy was working on earlier and complete it.
I think that was the gen that Nancy completed.
Was it?
Yeah, the one that Jake has worked on that was blast mine has not been worked on. However, Jake's running back to it. I think Claudette might also be on their way there. These survivors are made of steel. The hugging, the greed that they are inflicting upon this killer it's fanatical. Insane.
And a really, really well played here by the Stars, to say the least. And yeah, this generator on 4 cylinders. No blast mine this time round, but Blight needing to get it down as soon as possible in order to proc their Pop Goes the Weasel.
Worth noting, the killer does have a 3-gen to fall back to. Even like for regular killers, this would be considered a 3-gen, but this is really close, and it's a Blight. So this is a 3-gen, if you get what I'm saying. Wait, there's Survivor back there.
Yeah, but Blight checking for the heal party, and looks like they do find the scratch marks here, and that is going to be the Nancy who will take another hit. The question is, how far along are these gens progressed? We'll have to wait and see.
About to say the lucky break to Survivor. Wait, what? There was a... I didn't see the Survivor there. Well done to the killer for noticing it, but Claudette is unaccounted for. We saw that generator was on 4 pistons last time. They did the hit over the pallet. I don't think they can afford to hook. You've got to go back to your... I think Claudette's got to finish that gen.
Yeah, but I think the Blight's a big concern about a potential adrenaline, and if they can get there in time, not to mention with Pop Goes Weasel, they might be able to regress it if they can get there before the Aquatic can complete it.
There's
And
the kill on the
we'll
Nancy.
have to wait and see as Nancy does get healed up. The question is, was that a med kill or was that the Claudette?
No, it wasn't. The Claudette does finish it. I think the Claudette had the adrenaline there as she runs off into the distance. Exit gates are powered. They get the unhook on the... No, Jake had the adrenaline. You were right. They were with adrenaline, but... And too late. These survivors have played some of the most disgusting... Oh my word, I can't believe that missed. They've played some of the most disgusting coordinated plays I have seen against the Blight in a long time.
Yeah, no, overall, really good
job.
showing here by the survivors, to say the least. It looks like they are going to the Nancy here. Exit gate opened up, and the Nancy will go down. And looks like they will secure the 2-man out here.
That's a fresh
It's
survivor.
going to come down to Cynic's survivor team now, whether or not they can hold out longer than what Luminescence was able to do. And they put up a pretty good showing.
They did. That's the thing that blows my mind is this Blight has the tech. We have seen multiple hug techs, multiple moonwalks, multiple beautiful uses of the killer's power. They are not a bad Blight in the slightest. But the survivors still did so well on a macro level. It was incredible.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that was
really
phenomenal.
good showing from both sides.
Oh, man. Yeah, Lucky Break, Overcome. Yeah. And this survivor got out fresh. I think Claudette was a fresh hook, so... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a game. This is looking to be quite a matchup, I'm not gonna lie. All right, everybody. Welcome back to trial number 4. We get to see what the other side of the Isles Blight gets to do here. And I'm not gonna lie, like, both sides played incredibly well. Like, the Blight was super cracked. The survivors on a macro game sense were just like little flies across the gens, infecting them with their progression. It was a sight to behold. I'm curious how this one plays out.
It's going to be a really tight match because Cynic is going to need to get at least 2 survivors out the exit gates completely fresh in order to claim victory here in set number 2. Anything below that, we're looking at a set 3, so we'll have to wait and see what Luminescence's Blight has to offer. But that being said, Blight looking around on the prowl for a survivor. He has yet to find anyone, though, so not as quick of a find as Cynic had. And we'll have to wait and see if that is going to lend things to be in the survivor's favor.
Indeed. Not able to find... Nope. I was about to say they haven't found a survivor yet, but they do find the ace, and that was a beautiful pull back to get that hit, and they do get it before the window, dropping the pallet early, not wanting to lose, not wanting any chances going down this early in the match, and Ace running for their life along the edge of the map. Power is back, using it just a little bit, and they do get the tap underneath the pallet, unless there's a survivor here to come for the save. There is.
There's the Quinton, but they don't get it, and even take the hit to boot.
Oh.
That is going to be back-breaking for these survivors. That is 2 survivors exclusively on. 1 on the hook, 1 injured. That is huge for Luminescence.
That really is not the start that Cynic was hoping for here, but we'll have to see if they can pull it back again. I'm not about to be like, oh, let's see if they can do it. Cynic is a super strong team, and I've seen them pull back for some really rough starts, but Jen doesn't have much progress, and here comes a blast mine. Man, there's been some cracked blast mines I'm seeing today. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, blast mines have seen more and more. There's some good values, so can't complain at that. And we do see what looks to be the unhook here in the distance. And looks like Blake going for the injured survivor. Looks like that is Quinton over here in the tile, but wanting to go for the tunnel out instead on the ace.
I think it makes the most sense. You want to get a survivor out. You want to secure it. You're not trying to do some crazy time point thing. You're going for traditional, brutal, ruthless comp play. Get this survivor in the dirt, bury them as deep as you can, and then work the survivors down from there. They know what the win condition is. I would say this is going to be pretty straightforward. The question is, will the ace make it straightforward? Do they have the decisive made it in hand? First gen going down as the ace goes down for a second time.
Yeah, we heard Call of Brine noise notifications going off in the distance. That is 2 gens back to back. That's exactly what these survivors need to start throwing things in their favor. And now it comes down to whether or not they can manage their hook states well enough to ensure a survivor out completely fresh at that game. But Blight opening up this wall here, taking a quick peek at the garage, but looks like not a lot of progress being had.
Indeed, and immediately finding the Quentin. They have not healed. The sprint person is going to get them to the pallet, though. Very, very good call from the Quentin, getting that that sprint person getting out of dodge early, and Blight almost catching up. Here comes the Pop goes doing well. Jaden going back for the unhook, and we might be seeing a for the people play from the Nia. Huge, oh my goodness, stunning the killer too. This is exactly what the servers need to try and pull back into this game.
Yeah, no, that stun was huge because they were going to go for the down on the Nia, plug them out, and not even think twice about it. But the fact that they were not able to get that down was quite significant. So whether purposeful or not, that could be a huge turning point here with our team. And we do see Call Brian notice notifications once again. Light trying to go for the hits here. The Ace with the locker tech and trying to get the pallet. Will not be able to get it in time. But taking that momentum as Light does not have any charges in hand.
No, they don't. They just got their power back, and here comes the famous Carwell. Oh! And the Ace does go down. This will be Death Hook, barring any kind of save. There's the third gen going down for the Stars. However, it's not the gen that was going off of the Call of Brian notification, so Blight immediately rushing back to the gen, but they finish it instead. No shot. This is absolutely incredible.
It's been insane. It's playing absolutely out of their minds. And you want to know what I know? Because with the way the Quinn has been playing so aggressively, not caring about heals, not caring about nothing, getting the first unhook while injured, mind you.
Yeah.
They 1000% have a deliverance.
Absolutely. Feeding that survivor to him on a silver platter. Now Blight's in a situation of what gen do I go to protect? What do I do? What do I look for? There's the heal on the Nia. They have reset. It's still close though. The Blight, here's the thing. I have seen so many situations similar to this, and Blight just 4Ks right here. But I don't know that for a fact. These survivors have played so well. And
there's another blast mine. It feels like every single time the killer goes into gen, a blast mine just slowing them down. And those seconds add up. The seconds of Blight, it's the seconds of stun time. They add up and they add up quick. And I imagine we're going to be seeing Call of Brian noise implications from that gen here in just a few moments.
I would imagine so. Oh, trying to get a hit around the corner, but getting caught by the locker instead. And honestly, back on the blast mine thing just real quick, because we're, you know, kind of in this moment where it's going to be a little bit of cat and mouse for a bit. People talk about head-on. We've said this before, and if you know, it's a meme. It's a, you know, whatever, blast mine. Oh, it's for the memes. If comp is using these perks and getting this amount of value out of them, they're not meme perks anymore. Behavior designed, fun perks that actually do function. And I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. But like taking the hit on the Meg, opting to drop chase. Think that survivor is on the gen, and sure enough, scratch marks are there to prove just that. This is the Nia here, and at this point in time, Nia's going to take a hit, it looks like, and I imagine trying to get as far away from this gen as possible, so their teammates might be able to pick it back up.
Indeed, and I think at this point, with the win, oh my goodness, they felt that on the back of their hair. Beautiful job there from the Blight, though, reading that vault, and unless the gen pops it as an adrenaline, this will be first hook for the Nia, and there it is, the final gen, and a little haste status effect in the side to boot. No adrenaline from either of these two players, so I think, would it have been proactive to drop the survivor, hit them just in case there was an adrenaline? I don't know.
I mean, that is definitely a thought, and we have seen that happen before. It would have been insane heads-up play just in case, especially with how close
but they found a survivor
too. But that is the Meg who will get down. This could still end up in Luminescence's favor here, as they are now going to have two survivors on hook, and they need to get as many out as possible.
Absolutely. This is going to be really, really close here. But I think that this is a fresh hook. Yes, it is. I think that secures the points they need.
I think you're right, too.
You force the step.
Wait to see
the
score. The Execute is primed and ready, so the must have
there
been
they are.
over there. We see the scratch marks from the Quinton. Deliverance already used.
That's the 4K.
And I imagine they do have an Unbreakable, but I don't think it's going to matter, as that's going to be the 4K in favor of Luminescence, meaning that we're going to a set number 3.
And, okay, this might be the single best start of a season I have ever had the pleasure of hosting. We have had so many different killers. We've had, you know, Knight, Mastermind, Xenobite, Nurse, like so many different killers. We had a Blight Mirror. and now we get to go to an indoor map for Ghostface. Like, what? This is amazing.
It's gonna be a fun time, and so with that being said, as these survivors are being sent back to campfire via the entity, we are gonna get prepped and ready for this next lobby, where we are gonna be seeing it come all down to this, where Luminescence's Ghostface will be against Cynic's Survivor team on the treatment theater. Like I said, it is a Ghostface mirror match. So going to be quite the treat indeed for us today.
Absolutely.
So that being said, we are going to go on a quick break.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the final set of the first round of Season 7. And we get a Ghostface mirror. I'm a little bit exhausted, but at the same time, this is probably one of the best ways to wrap up a day of casting. I don't know about you, Guildspire, but this is going to be amazing in my opinion. I'm excited.
I'm really excited. We don't get to see Ghostface often. We don't get to see Treatment Theater often.
True.
So we are definitely getting a treat here in set number 3. And with that being said, we are jumping right on in as Ghostface will stealth up and now be on the prowl for their first survivor. And it's always interesting to see the play styles between different Ghostfaces. Do you go for the marks? Do you go for the 99s? Do you just go for like the stealthy M1 plays? Like, what is going to work out best? And I think each player just has their own little play style. We do see Quentin here quite early.
Ooh.
And an early reveal looks like Ghostface is not going to care much about their progress there, and instead going to be just going for the M1. But with a very strong pallet throw there, will make a lot of distance, and I think Ghostface make the right move here and drop and chase. Absolutely.
And in addition to what you're saying, one thing that I also am liking is I love to see what perks these Ghostface are bringing, and I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a spicy game for sure, as these perks are quite something, and getting a little bit of stock on Ace, but only getting about halfway, trying to get a reveal going and just not having it. Ace is doing a very good job blocking line of sight and putting that stock meter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Ace now in a bit of a pickle. Ghostface satisfied with the amount of stock they got off on the Ace. Going to be dropping chase now and finds themselves a Nia without the ability to really get some good stock. Will take that M1 there and some decent progress on this jet.
Indeed, gonna be able to stop that. And I will say these matches do tend to get a bit grindy sometimes, depending on the... Also, there's a Hex there, and we haven't quite seen what it is yet, but I am very excited when it gets announced. Let's put it that way.
All right, I'm curious. It means at the very least it's not a rune. We see Jen's dropped off, and we are seeing Quentin here again as Ghostface will be in chase. Not using their power, just wanted to go for the M1 hit on the survivor. And Quentin will take the hit over the pallet there. 2 survivors currently injured. That looks to be... Is that a dragon strip?
No.
No.
That is a Face the Darkness.
I was like, what is going to like randomly cause a survivor to scream? It's like kind of by a gen. It's like, is that a dragon strip? But it's not highlighted in yellow. Face the Darkness. Now that's a unique choice.
That really is. However, they do break the reveal on the Ghostface. However, notice their power is right back. That is the add-on at play there, getting their power back after breaking a pallet. And this Ace is possibly in a bit of trouble here, as they are back behind this pallet. This might be able to... Oh, wow, they played that absolutely perfectly. Not pre-dropping either. Okay, at least that is the first pallet stun that's reversed that didn't result in the server not getting hit. Okay?
That is true. That is true.
No way!
And there's the flashlight save.
No shot! Oh, my word. We're still at 5 gens, by the way. This is at 5 gens, y'all.
Absolute insanity, to say the least. Ace back in chase, going to a very strong pallet. There's the gun not thrown down. Ghostface opting to break it immediately. And they want this down. They want this hook on Ace.
Absolutely. It was worth noting, we haven't called it out yet, but the survivors are well aware there is Sloppy Butcher in play. So the survivors' resets are going to be quite lengthy. However, it seems like they are quite, quite fine with taking the time to reset, as, you know who's in chase right now, you might as well. And they do pre-drop, but that is going to cost them the down. And so down coming in. I have to see if the survivors in the area again for another flashlight save. They are not. This will be a hook.
Yeah, I was about to say, the only way they'd be able to do that is if they're in that doorway, and that survivor would just have been absolutely just looking into the future. But yeah, 2 gens completed off in the distance. I mean, the question of the day is, was that chase worth it?
don't know. It's hard to say. Like, these Ghostface matches are so hit or miss, no pun intended, when it comes to the way the flow of the game progresses. You can have really bad starts, but then, like, it's one time that when survivors make a mistake, it's actually kind of super punishing sometimes. Like, survivors don't easily recover.
Especially we're seeing this little back and forth right now. So Ghostface just getting a little bit of stock at a time. He is just opting to run right at the Ghostface, trying to reveal them, but not able to do so.
I think that might be the Philly. Is that the Philly? The 20% faster stock?
I believe so, yeah.
Really well done there, and this will be first up coming in for the Nia. Looking around, and it looks like this gen is very close to popping here. I don't know where they're going to be able to get this hook, and yeah, they're going to have to go for this hook, but this is probably going to be the third generator of the match popping in just a few moments here. Unless it's a pain res. It was!
That's insane.
That's
That's
brutal.
exactly what the Ghostface needed, and that's going to be 25% regression on this gen from 99% down to 75. That is quite unfortunate for that Quinton, as they're right on that gen, primed and ready to get it completed.
Very fortunate for the killer, and getting a little bit of stock on the Quinton as well. Quinton hasn't been hooked yet. It's only been ace, and now just trying to figure out what the plan here is for these survivors. We hear something back in the distance, and I'm not really sure actually what that is. I don't know what that... Wait, there's somebody behind him.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for the unhook here while they are in
That's a hit.
They will get it down at the window, and there is the unhook on the Nia as well. Looks like that is the ace. Ghostface deciding to take their victories where they can, especially as that is next to a Scourge hook, and that's going to be another 25% off the most progressed gen.
It really... really just good job here from the Ghostface managing the hook. Another gen, however, popping for these survivors, so that same gen earlier getting pain rezzed. And it is worth noting, they're fresh hooking all these survivors, so at the very least, even if it's not like a 4 carry, even if they don't get a kill, they're racking up a ton of points. It's a lot harder to tunnel out survivors on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. I also just want to point out here, honestly, that gen completing in the distance was probably the best case scenario.
True.
With the pain res hitting this gen here. The reason why I say that is split the two gens. They're going to eventually finish that gen off in the distance, but now that puts this gen here down to 50%, even less in some cases. So I think that was actually a really good thing for the Ghostface, to say the least, as they will get a hit on the Meg. And that is now all 4 survivors currently injured. And
of Face the Darkness telling them where they are. That's like that's a map-wide nurse's calling, effectively.
I mean, at this point in time, yeah, that is pretty much
There's the healing
like
though.
we see the Ghostface going for a break there, getting their power back to boot, and they're making their way slowly but surely over to survivors. And we see one over there as well, and looks like they're not going to go. Instead, just checking the gens here.
Okay, so not to you know, cause a little tiff or fight here, but isn't the general balancing to have no aura perks?
So I was fairly certain that Face the Darkness was only snapshot aura reading, but I was trying to think that myself as what was causing that, if it was an add-on or if it was Face the Darkness. But yeah, I think Face the Darkness has like a slight aura reading.
Yeah, I remember it's a screen, but I don't remember the aura reading being added. Okay, at this point, no offense to behavior, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's a spectator bonus for us and it's not actually an aura reading. But it is making me second guess my things. Oh, that's a hit over the top.
No, it's absolutely just making me sit here and go, wait, is that part of Face the Darkness? I don't feel like it is.
Are we banning Face the Darkness?
I'll double check, and you know, he might ban Face the Darkness. We'll see.
No, Ghostface, why would you do this? Anyway, I was just curious. So that's not just me that's going crazy there. I feel a bit better. Second hook for the Nia though. Back to the game. And they have reset. The survivors have fully reset, so we're getting to that point where the game's going to start grinding to a bit of a slower pace here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, at this point in time, we see that unhook. We are just checking these gens. We do see scratch marks, so I'm not sure if the survivors are aware where the Ghostface is, and they will get a little bit of a stock there on the Meg. The question is, do they know the Ghostface is hot on their trail?
I think they do. We see Meg looking back. I think maybe to get to try and reveal, possibly, but Meg's in a horrible spot now. Oh, wait, no, they let them out. I guess they really wanted to get that stalk going, but it's not going to work. Breaking here, this gives them their power back, and they're going to be able to stalk right again. Meg's actually in a really bad spot now. Have to use his pallets. Meg's holding W for their life. Oh, this is going to be really, really
Honestly,
difficult.
really love the use of this add-on.
Absolutely.
It's something that you don't see often, but it's getting a ton of value.
Oh, and there's a survivor right next to you. They just can't get the pickup. Really good job and really good call from the survivors. However, they do take a hit through the window. Nia has been reset, and they are going to go for the pickup here. Meg's the only one that hasn't been hooked yet, right?
I do believe that is the case, and I love that Ghostface swinging. I heard the pitter-patter feet behind the Ghostface as well. I was like, yep, that's the right choice, but Nia almost getting in there in time. And
That's a pain
there
risk.
will be all 4 survivors hooked at least once.
Yep, so they have got their bare minimum 12, and Face the Darkness still doing the Lord's work over here. And yeah, it looks like we are getting confirmation. It is, in fact, a 2-second R rating, so... Sorry, Face the Darkness. You have seen your debut, and it was a short-lived moment.
Yeah, we'll be taking care of that at the end of this week. So any teams, you know, wanting to use Face the Darkness between now and the end of tomorrow, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, I had pulled up the wiki as well. And like, sure enough, 2 seconds. I just have never noticed it, I suppose, this entire time.
Oh my goodness, these hits are driving me insane, but at least some of them are starting to connect, so I feel a little bit less bad for the killer. Meg, however, in the chase of their life now. I'm surprised they didn't go for the Nia, as Nia's death hook. There's the win on the mind game, though. They do finish a 4th generator, and this will be second hook coming. I guess they're really trying to go for points instead of the tunnel out.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, it makes sense to do so at this stage in the game, especially when it's Ghostface, because you're not expecting to get a 4K as Ghostface on Luries. You just need to try and get as many points as possible.
Yeah, the traditional tunnel out, just like we said before, just doesn't really work. And so, a little bit of progress here. These gens are not looking too hot at the moment, and with Ghostface, you know, just able to traverse silently and stealthily. Servers have reset, but I don't know how you tackle these last 3 gens. This Ghostface could be in prime 4K territory, despite all conventional wisdom saying, well, that's not how you play comp. You're supposed to tunnel the survivor out. This one's working out pretty well for this killer.
Yeah, I would say so, and yeah, I'm being reminded that I think the reason why Face of Darkness may have not caught the ban due to OR readings is because of how short it is. I think our threshold when he looked at Face of Darkness was like 6 seconds, and Face of Darkness was 2 seconds. You barely even see it right through the screen, so
that's
a
fair point.
Maybe we'll keep Face of Darkness around.
Face of Darkness, you live to see another day potentially. And with that said,
exactly. Now this survivor on the other hand, that all depends on these survivors coming in for this on the
they get the body block.
They do, and they get the hit on the twins, and Nia going to take a hit as well. And looks like Ghostface will drop the chase, though who they go for yet to be determined.
Indeed, power back up. They are stealthing it out. Unless they find Quentin, who is worth 2 more points, potentially breaking off chase. They do find Ace, and they're going to be able to reset the survivor's pressure of their own accord. Yeah, Ace is going to take a hit here. There's the Face of Darkness. Oh, man. Honestly, if we're making an exception for a perk, I think Face of Darkness is very deserving of being allowed.
I mean, it's been getting them a
Yes,
insane amount of
screams.
value. And there's the blast mine as well in the distance, though. Did we hear a hex totem getting cleansed, or?
No, it's still up. So one thing that's also insidious.
That wasn't the blast mine in the distance.
It was. So what happened is, this is the single most insidious thing that I am loving so much about this game. They have Sloppy Butchers, so they're in the middle of healing. They scream, and the skill check happens.
Oh, that is miserable.
Right? This is some next level insanity here, and Meg just holding W into the pallet. However, they are death hook, and so this is going to be kind of difficult. And we see the scream from Ace. We see that they're on the gen still, and yeah, with Larry's the totem constantly resetting spots. There's no way to keep it from spawning necessarily unless you find it in the open. Wait, they can't hook this, can they? If they hook, they lose.
Unless it's a Scourge hook, they can't hook because that gen will be completed. And I think Ghostface understood that too, so they're going for the slug play here. And we did see one person approaching the slugged out survivor, but Ace now going to be in chase.
They get the
back
pickup.
up off the ground.
They do get the pickup, which is crucial, but they finish the gen anyway. Wait, they had 2 gens ready to pop. I didn't realize that.
Honestly, I don't think the Ghostface realized it either, but looks like they will be able to get the hit here on Ace. So Ace faking out the vault, forcing a miss there, but this exit gate going to be blocked off, and that there will be the down on the Ace.
Wait, they're leaving a slug? I'm about to say, I would take this hook here. That's 2 to 3 additional points for the death. This is only second hook for them. Face of Darkness getting a lot of value, though. This was This was amazing. Regardless of the result here, this game was phenomenal.
Yeah, no, overall, really strong gameplay from the Ghostface, utilizing every little bit of advantage
Did they get a hit here?
and we do see them all going to the next game. It's like, either they're all planning to die together, or that exit gate's primed and ready to open.
I'm about to say, if this killer had no one with that 4%, I think one of those survivors might have tasted at the exit gate. But regardless,
I think you are right.
That's an 8-stage 1K, and that was very close to not being. I was very close to 4K territory. But then other gen primed and ready to pop save the survivors. And again, just shout out to the survivors also playing very methodically throughout the entire thing. Is constant screaming and sloppy butcher for resetting. I would have been stir crazy. I would have been like just out of it at that point. That would drive me nuts. This is third match for them too. This is they've put in their work today.
Yeah, no, they really have. And with that being said, we are going to set up for the final trial of today's matches, where we're going to be seeing Cynic's Ghostface against Luminescence Survivor Team. We'll run some math on the background of what the win conditions will be, but in the meanwhile, we are going to go on a quick break.
All right, folks. All coming down to this Ghostface game. The score is set. They know what they have to do. It's just a matter of executing on it, as I believe Luminescence is surviving, correct? Yes.
That is correct. And yeah,
this
is looking really interesting. If you look at a score breakdown, because they got so many fresh hooks.
It's a lot
they had
of points.
1 kill for a full 6 points. They had one, fresh hook and then 2 hooks on each. If we're looking at this and kind of breaking down the score right now, I mean, that is pretty much, they need to get pretty much a 4K, I think, in order to do anything, because it's 19 points. I mean, I guess a 2K with a
10-stage 2K.
10 hook. Yeah, 2K 10 hook would still be able to claim victory here, but just barely. Yeah,
barely. Maybe 9-stage, I don't know. 9-stage might be pushing it. That might be a little bit too close for comfort, but we can speculate all we want. It all comes down to how the Ghostface is played. And one final trial, once more unto the breach, my friends. And once again, not to not to close out too soon, but remember, we do have more matches tomorrow, so we're just getting started, folks.
Yeah, and Ghostface out on the prowl, trying to find this first survivor. Yet to see anyone just yet. Not as much of an early find as we saw in the last match for Luminescence. And Ghostface just checking every corner. See if they can get a cheeky stalk. And there's just a survivor standing in the middle of a pallet.
And there's one back here who got the reveal, so really well done to the Nancy there. Possibly saving the Jake some unnecessary pain, and I'm very curious to see how this killer is going to play the game. Actually, I say that, and this killer brought a very spicy build indeed. So getting the hit over the pallet, Nancy with the Sloppy Butcher, taking it back to the God pallet. They don't drop God pallet. This Nancy has nerves of steel. I would have dropped God pallet in a heartbeat.
Reason. I mean, this is a very strong position for the Nancy to be in. If she's able to make the vault across this pallet, Ghostface in that corner, I mean, they have 2 strong pallets to rely on. So Nancy's in a fantastic position. A whip from Ghostface, so blocking the pallet. And is that another Face the Darkness?
I think they overheard us saying that we were going to possibly ban it. And they're like, come on, please, let me take Face the Darkness. Please, I got to use it once more. And they do, in fact, have Face the Darkness.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example there of, I think, why when we looked at Face the Darkness or Reading the first time, and I've gone through so many, balanced discussions, but that's exactly why we didn't ban it, because you saw the snapshot auras, you did not see the auras. The UI just covers that up with those screens.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Also, this gen very close to being finished here, and looks like Nia going for a balanced landing play. Yes, that is a Claudette. My eyes deceive me. And they will reveal the Ghostface, and that gen is very close. That's like 80-90% there. Claudette's gonna be able to get to this middle office room and be pretty safe here with this pallet still. This map is so peculiar to me, and they do get the stun using another God pallet. Okay, in your opinion, how many God pallets are on this map?
Realistically speaking, a gen popping off really early, 1 hook in. Realistically speaking, there is...
Oh no, they got body blocked!
No shot.
No. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Nancy, we were talking about it earlier. Oh, there's really no way to tunnel survivors in this game. This killer's like, hold my beer and watch this. Or hold my knife and watch this. And it's going to get a second hook here. There's no deadlock. So you really can't just afford to camp this out. But that is a really potentially strong hook for this killer. If you have a potential out this early, I think it might be worth incentivizing trying to possibly tunnel the survivor out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. We see that God Palace finally going down. And to answer your question, realistically speaking, the answer is 2. There are 2 true God Palettes on this map, but the thing is there's so many strong tiles on top of which that you can just link into other loops throughout this match, and we've been seeing these survivors do it, but 2 gens in, I think they're cutting their losses potentially. I mean, Jake's hanging around, yes, but I get a feeling that we're going to be seeing this Nancy Senpai campfire via the entity, though. Ace coming in, trying to harass this Unhook, and looks like Jake will be joining as well.
Looks to be so, and I imagine, especially against a Ghostface, you're not gonna be able to get the, you're not gonna be able to prevent the Unhook here. Yeah, there's the body block. However, no, they messed it up. They messed it up, and Jake doesn't get the prompt. Oh no!
Ace takes it down. Jake not able to grab it, and Nancy being sent back to the campfire. That is a just series of unfortunate events happening right there.
That is incredible. Jake taking a hit over the pallet. Claudette nowhere to be found, saying just do the gens. Survivors might be in damage control. Yeah, 3rd gen going down for these survivors, but you have 2 more gens to go on a map where, honestly, it's kind of a similar vibe to when Pinhead plays against a 3v1. You constantly need a survivor to be resetting because of, you know, how Ghostface plays on this map. You can't afford to, another Face of Dark, you can't really afford to be injured at any point in time. And so if you can't reset constantly, like, this is a nightmare scenario here. This has never happened, really. You don't normally see a tunnel out, but it worked.
It did, and honestly, I don't think it was really the Ghostface that made it work. It just was by happenstance with the Ghostface just being on the right side of the pallet when the Nancy is being healed, when, you know, the Ace and the Jake just were not able to get that.
They got their power back too.
Unfortunately, that was I think the real turning point was that down at the God pallet on the Nancy, and Claudette really close to being stalked here. That is the exposed, and Claudette now in a chase for their life. There's the pallet, but Claudette being very brave, greedy. Not dropping it, but I don't think they get back to it.
No, they don't. They do go down early. First time we didn't see reverse pallets done, but that is a down on the Claudette. It looks like they might be trying to reset the Ace still. I don't know. Do you gamble as the Survivor Squad down and say, you know what? Screw it, we're not healing. Let's bust these gens out. No, they are healing. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, like, do you take the risk, or do you try to, like, you know, refocus, recenter, and try and bring this game back in, like a strategic way, or do you just try to bum rush the gens? And servers aren't desperate yet, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, I don't think there's any good answer here.
True.
But at the end of the day, Ace and Chase, nothing much for them to work with. They have that pallet, but now it comes down to who's more patient. Ace going down at it as well. And the only one left up is the Jake. Ghostface going back for the check on the Unhook, and sure enough, there's the Jake on the Unhook. Will take the injure. That's all Spyro's injured. No room for a reset, and bought it with the body block, so we'll give credits to. That does give the Jake some decent distance, but now it's Claudette in the crosshairs of this Ghostface.
It doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like they're gonna go back for their slug. I mean, as long as the Ghostface plays this very methodically, I think they 4K.
I think they do too.
Like, and this is what you need. You don't try to risk it, because if you have a bad chase, you chase too long, you know, Jake or Claudia comes back, they reset the Ace, they start getting back on their feet, they start doing gens. Where in this scenario, you got another hook, Survivor's that much closer to death. I think we just saw the Jake, and you know where the Claudette is too. Face the Darkness is just absolutely Face the Darkness Ghostface meta. Again, people said, you know, head on. Oh, it's a fun meme perk. Last night, oh, it's a fun meme perk. Face the Darkness. These are all viable perks, and I love it. I love it.
No, it has definitely shown what it can do. Dude, Jake at the pallet, Ghostface goes for it, but not able to get it, and also not take the stun just at the last moment. And we do see the Ace being healed there with that snapshot aura, and the Claudette as well. Ace being self-healed.
But I say that's very, very ballsy to be trying to self-heal there against the Ghostface with Sloppy and Face the Darkness. Honestly, with the 33% slowdown, 24 seconds, Face the Darkness, Do you even get? Do you get that? Okay, math it out. You're the math whiz here. Math it out with me.
Well,
Do
I
you
think
get that heal
the biggest
off?
thing to keep in mind is how long does it take for you to be able to interact with things after screaming? Because if you have Sloppy Butcher, for example, you have the Mangle Suspect also decreasing
Right, yeah.
your heal.
Right.
So it's possible that you only get 1 heal out of your 2 heal
Well,
medkit.
Right. Okay, so yes, that is a given. Yes, you only get 1 heal. I'm wondering, do you even get the 1 heal? Because it's already, so 24 seconds. Sloppy Butcher makes it how much longer to heal? It goes from 24 to...
Yeah, 25 plus, from the 24, yeah.
So it takes that long. Face the Darkness makes you scream how often?
Is it once every, 10 seconds, potentially?
I think it's
something
12
like that.
or 14. But if you're screaming that often, and plus, the way that Mangled works, you lose progression faster than normal.
Wait.
I want to test that. I don't think you're able to heal with a medkit through this.
I think you're right. I also want to point out something interesting. We just saw a snapshot or a scream with Claudette on the ground.
I guess sometimes you can scream on the ground, sometimes you can't, because I know that survivors can scream if they're in tier 3 on the ground, but we saw earlier today in a similar scenario where the chains weren't making survivors scream, but because the chain can't hit the survivor on the ground. So, yeah,
but
interesting.
The scream, when you solve the puzzle box, the scream is not the result of the chains hitting you, it's just the fact that you solved the puzzle box. So yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah, that's a good
when
point.
some things work and some things don't, and you just go, wait 1 second.
Yeah. Regardless, we've kind of glossed over the fact because it just happened a little bit quickly. Congratulations on the 4K. Very, very well played. So Cynic will take the W here in a best of 3, forcing set number 3. Really well done. And we're gonna have to have a conversation because Face the Darkness was sloppy. I think you don't heal. I think you cannot heal with a two heal medkit. I don't think you actually get the heal off.
All right, and it looks like they're saying it's 25 seconds per scream. So,
okay,
yeah,
that's
based
better.
on that, it's definitely possible. I think what we're thinking is maybe the scream time for tier 3 for the Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's why when you run Doctor, Sloppy Butcher, Face the Darkness, then we can start getting into a conversation.
True, that's entirely fair. So, I don't know. It was an interesting thought experiment regardless, but honestly, this was... I was saying this behind the scenes. This is genuinely the best season opener I have ever had the privilege to cast. And thank you so much for joining it with me, Gil.